Hi, I'm Chike Coleman, that's Chuck Koplinski, and we're back for another week to talk about movies. This is Real Reviews, the Cinematic Underground, and this week we're talking about two movies, one of which is RoboCop, and the other of which is McGee's latest box office disaster, 3 Days to Kill, starring Kevin Costner. But I want to open with RoboCop because last week you and I talked about the original RoboCop from 1987, and now we're talking about the 2014 update to that film. RoboCop, of course, centers on a cop named Alex Murphy who is killed in the line of duty, but in a much different way than in the original film, via a car bomb. And the Alex Murphy character is played by Joel Kinnaman, who you may recognize from the show AMC's The Killing. Samuel L. Jackson plays a vicious news reporter, and Gary Oldman plays the scientist who helps RoboCop get his life back in order after Alex Murphy is basically decimated by the car bomb. What did you think of this film, Chuck?
I liked it. I thought it was a nice little update of things. I liked it because it focused more on the emotional ramifications of everything that happens. It focused more on, Murphy's wife and son and how they were attempting to deal with this. It probably could have focused a bit more on it, but I like the fact that they at least gave that more screen time. And as well, showing just how nefarious the bad guys were in not only putting him in this outfit to sustain a life that I don't think he wanted, but also to go so far as to manipulate his brain to the point where he almost feels nothing, just to the lengths that they would go to turn a profit, which of course is no surprise in America. But it just had more of a grisly take on it. I mean, we've seen this before, definitely. When we've talked about this again, the last couple years, these movies keep coming up in which we talk about the clash of technology and human beings and the compromises that are made. Not so much physically as this, but socially, as Her comes to mind as well. And I like the things that RoboCop could do.
It wasn't just one sidearm that came up from his leg.
Right. Technology's advanced so much since the 1987 version, and so we've got a RoboCop 2.0, and I thought that was pretty cool too. But there was more there than I thought.
For my part of it, I thought this is the most honest version of RoboCop that we're basically going to get. You get to feel the kind of PTSD of the fact that this guy basically got killed by a car bomb, and you've also got the emotions of his memories from his son and spending time with his wife. Might I add, his wife is very attractive. Just the first thing we see before...
It's a Hollywood movie. They usually do that.
Before the car bomb actually hits, we get to see him spend time with his wife, and everything feels organic. It feels like a family that would exist. And I really like that, and the son's reaction to seeing his father for the first time in the armor, in the suit, was really nice because they still kept to that little note of the things that the father and son loved to do together, and he was still trying to recreate that, which I thought was nice. I also like the idea that, this isn't really as much focused on action as much as the original RoboCop was, and more focused on the corruption within the city of Detroit.
And that's not to say there isn't action.
There is.
There are some nice sequences there.
You can't really see parts of it, but there are parts of it that when you can see it, that it's spectacular.
There are moments that are pretty dark, yeah. Yeah, and I thought they just took it a little bit too far for me. I was really quite disturbed when we see what's actually left of him. After he's put in the RoboCop suit.
Absolutely.
They even do even more of a number on him after he's wiped out by the car bomb. So that was very disturbing to me. And I couldn't help but think, I kept thinking, wow, David Cronenberg, if he had done this film.
Oh gosh, he would have had so much fun with that.
He's been fascinated with, if you go back to The Fly and Crash, he's always been fascinated with this intersection between humans and machines. And it really kind of veered in that direction, I think, a couple of times with what I just said, and also the manipulation of the brain. So there are definitely touches of him all over this.
The weak link of the film, I thought, was Michael Keaton as the Raymond Sellers CEO character of OCP, I think it is.
Omnicore?
Omnicore, yeah, which is a sub-company of OCP. I really thought he had no business being the villain in the film. He really didn't add any dimension to the film other than being a shadowy figure of villainy throughout the entire picture. And you knew he was bad, but you didn't know how bad. And really, it was emotionless, an emotionless performance, which is hard to say for an actor that I loved as Batman. But he really just didn't give anything to the picture that really elevated it for me or made the stakes feel high. It was everything I expected and nothing that surprised me. One of the other things I will say is that Michael K. Williams, the actor who plays Murphy's partner in the film, every role I see him in, he gets better. He finds a way to surprise me, give me a level of depth that I don't really expect.
And where have you seen him before?
The Wire. Also, he was in 12 Years a Slave as one of the slaves that were killed on the slave ship. Every scene I see him in, he is always, doing something slightly different than his vocal deep range requires. And I'm always surprised by that. And I look forward to seeing him in more supporting roles where they can give his character some meat to do, because I liked the relationship between Murphy and that character. Did you?
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. He's starting to be one of those recognizable faces. Might not know his name, but he's starting to be one of those guys who'll say, "Oh yeah, I remember him." So hopefully he does get a little bit more to do.
And I thought he was really exceptionally strong in the film. Gary Oldman really didn't give much to do other than,
Oh, I disagree.
Okay.
He was kind of the conscience of the film at times. I mean, he was going back and forth. He didn't quite know what to do in the face of all this corporate greed. And eventually he turns out okay.
Yeah, he does.
I just imagine, what would the role have been with a lesser actor?
Yeah.
Then we really would have had a problem. But I thought he did what he could do with it.
He did what he could do. What's the name of that guy with the balding head? I know I've seen him in The Watchmen as...
Oh, Jackie Earle Haley.
Yeah, Jackie Earle Haley.
Yeah, he first came around with the Bad News Bears way back in 1976. Yeah, Jackie Earle Haley.
He was, to me, a better villain than Keaton in this film. And while he was a more upfront antagonist for RoboCop, I liked his villainy. His villainy had a purpose, and he was basically the Q of the whole operation, providing the weapons for RoboCop.
Well, and that was interesting because, in a sense, you could understand him, and he symbolizes something that, we should all be concerned about, and that is being replaced by a machine. That, of course, was, the key to his motivation. There's a lot of jealousy there, a lot of fear that he was masking with, these violent actions, and that is something to be concerned about. This whole being, pushed to the side by something without emotion and more efficient.
I have to say that my favorite scene in the movie is actually our introduction to Gary Oldman's character when he's in that rehab lab with the guy with the guitar.
Yeah, that is neat.
That to me is, if they had put more of RoboCop's struggle to adapt to this technology he's given, I would have felt a bit better about the movie than I do. To me, it was just average, but I felt like if you added some of those human struggles of being able to do the limbs, the face call was about as close as we got with that film to the level of him struggling with the body he now inhabits. And I feel like if they'd gone a little bit more in the same direction they did with that guitar player, where he doesn't know how to really feel about things happening to him and the new gift or curse that he has, that would have made me feel slightly better about the film. What did you give it when you reviewed it?
I gave it 3, I think, 3 out of 4.
I'm pretty much at 2.5. I don't want to quite give it 3 because I don't really think it deserves it. But do you think there will be a sequel?
No.
Do you think it will make enough money to be a sequel? No?
It won't make enough money here, but I know there might be a sequel because I know it's doing incredibly well overseas. I think it's on track to break 200 million outside of the United States. So
I also think that the scenes in the foreign country were really nice to be able to show that contrast between man and machine. So it's a solid film. I'll give it that. But yeah, I would give it about 2.5. All right, so the next movie we're going to talk about today is going to be 3 Days to Kill. Chuck, you want to take the plot for this one?
The plot is we have a CIA agent played by Kevin Costner. He's withered, he's sick, he's been run down, he's about on his last legs. And the film opens with a operation that goes south very quickly. They're after a terrorist by the name of the Wolf, as well as his assistant, the albino. You can see that right away they paint everything in very broad strokes in this movie. A little time passes and we find out that the agent has cancer. He doesn't have much time to live, a few months perhaps. So he decides to quit the agency and spend whatever time he has left with his estranged daughter and wife. Estranged daughter is played by Haley Stansfeld from True Grit, and then Connie Nielsen from 300 is the wife. Of course, it would be too simple, and he is sucked back into hunting down these two guys once more when a superior from the CIA, played in full vamp mode by Amber Heard, offers him not only money and a huge insurance policy, but an experimental drug that will perhaps put his cancer into remission and give him more time. This, of course, is an offer he can't refuse, and of course he accepts. Well, Mom then goes on a trip to London, leaving him then to not only try and track down these terrorists, but also to take care of his estranged daughter for 3 days. Thus the title, 3 Days to Kill. Needless to say, juggling these two things is a bit difficult, and it leads to all sorts of emotional and physical mayhem.
Okay, you know how I like to go on rants, right?
Yeah.
This is one of those times.
Oh, boy.
The supporting characters in this film suck. Costner is fine. He is very serviceable as a aging CIA agent. They've got one cast of supporting characters that's an African family that's squatting in his old apartment. They were annoying to me. Very, very annoying. Especially the little kid who tried to high-five Costner throughout the film. It just didn't work for me. The second one is an international actor and his family as well, and he's getting fatherhood advice from the guy he's shaking down. That was just totally unfunny and stupid to me. Steinfeld's performance as the teenage daughter felt really, really forced and not at all genuine. I often wonder what the screenwriter was thinking when he wrote the dialogue for this film, because it feels just so corny and cheesy. The only other actress who really gets equal amounts of genius dialogue or funny things to say is Amber Heard as the vamp CIA agent superior. She gets all the great kind of like 50 Shades of Grey type clothing and lines, in the sense that she's always trying to basically seduce Costner as well as give him the acclamations and the rewards he wants for the service he's doing. It's incredibly unfunny. It really is. And it's a script by Luc Besson, who's been known for The Fifth Element, the Transporter films. I think he was also doing a Jet Li movie in the 90s. I think it was Enter the Dragon or something. Some Kiss of the Dragon, I think. Just a god-awful movie. I mean, the action scenes are shot well. Connie Nielsen is fine as Costner's ex-wife. And he's charming as Costner himself is charming when he's in situations with all these actors, but the dialogue is so unfunny it hurts. Chuck, what did you think?
I got a big kick out of this movie. I really liked it.
What?
Yeah, I really liked it.
I'm surprised by this.
No,
Okay,
I thought it was fun.
Tell me why.
I thought it was fun. The movie is nothing but a collection of gimmicks.
Pretty much.
There's no question. I mean, it's just one gimmick after another. Bad enough that this guy's on his last legs, but the side effect to drug he's taking is hallucinations and renders him almost helpless. In order to prevent that, you've got to keep your blood pressure down. So how are you going to keep your blood pressure down when you're chasing these terrorists? I mean, obviously that's a gimmick. The gimmick of every time he's torturing someone,
He gets
the
that
phone
phone call.
rings from the daughter, and she needs something, and he's clueless, and so he has to ask whoever it is he's torturing, who happens to be a father or someone with the information, hey, how would you do this? I just, I'm looking at this, I compared the movie to Taken as I was watching it.
Yeah, I did too.
You know, you can't help it because, you know, you've got these guys late in their career, they're thrown in these action roles. And, you know, Taken, of course, played it straight. I mean, straight down the line. And I like the fact that basically they're taking a lot of the same elements and just kind of turning it all on their head and saying, let's have fun with this. Maybe it just struck me in the right mood. I don't know. The film's a little long.
Yeah, I would say that too.
I didn't have a problem with the family squatting in his apartment because that kind of brings his humanity back.
Okay, I'll give you that.
The one woman is pregnant and she's going to give birth there. We'll leave after she gives birth, and you know it kind of keys him back into what's supposed to be important to his life. I like the little kid trying to high five. I like the fact that he gives him the watch and you know, say, hey, let this guy out in a couple hours. And I don't know. I just got a kick out of it.
I like the Italian guy. I will give you the Italian guy.
The Italian guy he's torturing and has the recipe for the sauce. And yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it a lot more than many Luc Besson films.
Okay.
I was dreading it because I'm not a big fan of his. But I didn't.
I'm the reversal of you. I am a big fan of his, so I found myself disappointed.
How could you forget The Professional then if you're a big fan?
I didn't forget The Professional. I liked The Professional.
Okay, well, you were just mentioning other films, and that was the one that I would think should come to mind immediately.
Yeah, but I was in the middle of his career. My Luc Besson phase started with The Fifth Element, and then I went back to The Professional.
Okay, all right.
So, what I will say about this film is that even though, you know, the slapstick to me is unfunny, it still was a funny film to a lot of my audience. Because it got to that point where it was ridiculous.
Oh, it's completely ridiculous.
And you could say, okay, I know what this is now, and I can relax. Because it's going to happen all throughout the movie, and I can just take it. It's going to be fine.
I will say the car chase was cool because I'd never seen anyone pulled out of another car and dispatched in the way he does it in that movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
That was absurdly cool.
Yeah.
When he pulls that other guy halfway out the car, I was just like, what?
Yeah,
that guy did ragdoll physics for no reason.
Yeah, I had to feel bad for him.
But I do have one question about this film, and you
Only one? Okay.
You may be able to clear this up for me. When his daughter is at the club and she's in the bathroom with those boys, is the guy who she wants to be her boyfriend also in that room?
No.
I feel like he is.
No.
I feel like he says her name. It says Costner's character's name, Ethan, in that film, or Mr. Whatever his name is. I feel like he was in that room when that was happening and didn't stop it.
No, I don't think so. I think he would have beaten the hell out of him had he been there and not done anything.
This is true.
I also like the recurring joke of the purple bike, too.
Oh, yeah. He's trying to get her to ride
no one wants the bike, yeah.
Nope.
And he's got to ride this stupid purple girl's bike. So, I don't know. I liked it.
That was great and fantastic for me.
It's a film that I can't defend, but I can say I liked it.
I'm not gonna try to have you defend it. And like I said, the cell phone joke was clever. It's just Steinfeld, who's particularly good in usually everything, including that Romeo and Julian Fellows movie that she was in pretty recently, didn't feel honest or natural. But I will say she's quite beautiful. She's pulling off the what's the other actress's name? The blonde one, Chloe Grace Moretz. She's pulling off the Chloe Grace Moretz level of beauty, where it's not too assuming.
Not very natural.
Yeah, very much so. But I did enjoy the heck out of Amber Heard's character. I was just waiting for her to come back in every scene. Because she was just on the ball and trying to control everything, and he's like, nope, I'm not letting that happen. And then the Christmas card he gets from her with the, I guess, the final dosage of the cure?
Probably.
We don't even know.
Yeah.
It's not really told.
It's not important.
But the note inside is nice. We all want a little more Amber Heard in our lives, I would say.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Or else you're dead.
Yeah, I know. Dead inside. But yeah, I thought it wasn't that great of a movie. You obviously liked it. But I wanted to talk to you about other things you may have been watching this week. Is there other things you saw?
I saw Winter's Tale, which was god-awful.
Yeah, I heard that was going to be god-awful.
It is number one. It's the early contender for worst film of 2014. When you've got movie, a love story that deals with reincarnation and then angels and demons and miracles and a flying horse. You just don't know what to say. I'm thinking that Russell Crowe and Colin Farrell must have owed the filmmaker.
Keith Golden, was
must
that?
have owned him something to volunteer to be in this thing, because and they struggle throughout, and they're trying to do their best, and but there's just nothing you can do with this. It's just an absolute mess. And of course, Will Smith has a cameo that everyone's talking about. The few people who've seen the film.
Is it a good cameo?
It's a good cameo. I mean, there's no question. It's a showstopper, and it's probably the best scene in the movie.
Oh, okay.
But it's all in service of nothing.
Is he God?
No.
Oh,
Go the other way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome to watch. I have to say the only things that I've been watching are I've been trying to get through House of Cards, the second season.
And how far are you?
I am 5 episodes in, actually, which I'm surprised by. I didn't think I would get that far along.
I have not started it yet. I think I need to go back and watch the last episode of the first season just to kind of jumpstart me, remind me of things.
The first episode of the second season feels like it should have been the season finale of the first. I will say that. And the new characters that have been brought in are excessively strong and great characters with, motives and morals that, weave in and out. I also wanted to mention that another great show that Connie Nielsen was also a part of, called Boss, would be another good one for you to check out. Starred Kelsey Grammer for 2 seasons as the Chicago mayor. The other thing I've been watching, of course, is a show that not a lot of people have heard of if they don't have premium cable. I do. So I've been watching True Detective, the new Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson police drama. And I have to say, I've seen a lot of detective shows in my time, and none of them are as interesting as True Detective is right now, because McConaughey, again, the McConaissance is going on strong, because this guy right now can do no wrong. He's got this really well-developed character that it's basically a time travel kind of a thing, in the sense that...
Stop talking.
Why?
I haven't seen it yet. Do not give anything away.
I'm not planning to.
Well, okay.
You'd enjoy it, Chuck. I will say this.
When you say time travel, you've...
Okay, I need to rephrase that. It's not time travel, it's flashbacks.
Okay, there we go.
I really enjoy Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey's chemistry in that show. It's only 8 episodes. It might as well be an 8-hour movie because that's how good it is. You've got Cary Fukunaga directing, and Nick Pizzolatto or something. That's as close as I can get to his name. Being the writer for this series, and it's just balls to the wall character drama with one of the most compelling mysteries I've seen in the last 5 years.
Now, aren't they keeping that series, the title, but then they...
Yes, it's an anthology
it's a complete
series,
different story with different actors and everything, and that's going to be their deal.
Completely an anthology series, and I am loving it. You definitely should check it out. And viewers who have HBO, definitely check that show out, because it's really great if you like cop dramas and good characters, or even if you like Matthew McConaughey, just to see him in something different that's not a romantic comedy. This show is for you. What's coming up that you're excited about, Chuck, other than the Oscars?
Coming up that I'm excited about. Wow. Not much, really. I'm looking at March, and Captain America starts off April. So we've got that to look forward to. But, this is kind of a down time, kind of a bit of a bleak time as far as films are concerned, usually this part of year. So not much.
Are you ready for our usual Oscar predictions bet?
I guess.
Are you ready to lose for the 2nd year in a row?
I guess.
All right. Because I think...
We are not going back to that place, though. Oh, it doesn't exist anymore, does it?
No, it's still there.
Oh, it's there? There's no way.
Yeah. I'll change...
I'll just give you $20 and you can go on your own, okay?
I'll change the bet to a different place.
Okay.
Somewhere more interesting and fascinating for you. But I was going to say, There is one movie that I'm really excited to see. I have no idea when it's coming out, but I want to see the movie. Two movies actually. One is Chef, and the other one is that new Miles Teller film with.
Whiplash?
Yes, Whiplash.
That just hit at Sundance, and they don't have a release date yet. I would expect midsummer probably.
Yeah, I'm also excited for the Veronica Mars movie in March.
Yes, we know you are.
Because who doesn't love Kristen Bell?
I don't know.
But other than that, I don't think... Oh, I should mention that there is going to be a sequel to the Lego movie. I think they said 2017?
2017, yep.
All right. Well, that's all the news that I've got. You got anything big coming up? Any interviews?
I'm surprised that you have not mentioned the reboot of the Fantastic Four, seeing as how you're all about Miles Teller and
Michael
Kate
B.
Mara
Jordan
is, on House of Cards.
Yeah, and Michael B. Jordan will be playing the Human Torch. I think that using Miles Teller as Mr. Fantastic, though, might be an unwise move.
What about Jamie Bell as Ben Grimm?
That's weird.
What the heck is that?
I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out for a while.
That one I don't get at all.
They're going to CG it. You know they're going to have to CG it because there's no way that that's going to work.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is Ben Grimm himself is a big guy.
He's a big dude.
And you would cast a more physically domineering actor to begin with.
You know who I would get for that? This is going to sound odd, but I would get Ron Perlman.
He's too big and he's too old.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But he's pulled off wonders with Hellboy, so who knows?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so until next week, I'm Chike, that's Chuck, and we will see you later.